All right, let's get right into it because we are about to unpack one of the most powerful and, frankly, misunderstood ideas in leadership. It's this: real influence, the kind that actually lasts, has almost nothing to do with your title and everything to do with your relationships. And it really all boils down to this one simple but really revealing question. Just think about it for a second. Your honest answer, well, that's the difference between having a team that just complies and having a team that's truly committed. So, here's our game plan. We're going to start by tearing down the illusion of power. Then we'll dig into where influence actually comes from. From there, we'll get super practical about how to build it, expose the silent killer that can destroy it, and wrap it all up with how to lead with real authenticity. Okay, first up, let's talk about this whole illusion of power. It's so easy to think that the title on your email signature is what gives you authority, right? But that is a trap. It's a short-term play, and it will fail you in the long run.
This really lays it all out. On one side, you've got that positional power. It's based on where you sit in the org chart. And yeah, it gets you compliance. People will do what you say, because they have to. But it's fragile. The second you're not looking, it's gone. Then you've got relational power. This is completely different. It's earned through trust and respect. And what does that get you? Real commitment. The kind that gets people to bring their best ideas and best effort. Not because you're the boss, but because they actually want to.
So, if leaning on your title is a dead end, then what's the alternative? Where does that real, sustainable influence actually come from? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack right now. This quote from Kim Scott is really the heart of the whole thing. Just let that sink in for a second. The quality of your leadership and the quality of your relationships are not separate things. They are one and the same. You cannot force people to follow you. You have to earn it. And the foundation, the bedrock of all of this is one thing: trust. But trust isn't some vague, fuzzy concept. In this context, it's actually super specific. It boils down to a very simple two-part formula. And there it is. Trust equals care plus competence. It's not one or the other. You absolutely have to have both. If people know you care but don't think you're competent, they won't trust your judgment. If they think you're competent but don't feel you care, they won't trust your intentions. You need both. This table breaks it down perfectly. When you have care but you're lacking competence, your team basically thinks, well, they're a nice person, but they're not very effective. On the flip side, if you've got all the competence in the world but you're missing that care, you're seen as smart but cold, someone who's just a machine. If you have neither, whoa, that's a dangerous leader. But when you bring both together, when you show you care and you prove you're competent, that's when you become a truly trusted leader. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? Let's get tactical. I want you to think about it like a bank account for each of your relationships. You can't just show up one day and expect to make a huge withdrawal if you haven't been making small, consistent deposits all along.
And these deposits, they aren't big, heroic gestures. They're the small, everyday things you see right here. It's remembering that personal goal someone shared with you and asking about it later. It's having the guts to say, you know what, I messed that up. It's shining the spotlight on your team when things go well and stepping up to take the blame when they don't. These simple things, they're the currency of trust.
And this is a huge one that so many leaders get wrong. Your weekly one-on-one meeting, it's not a status update. It's not just a time to check off boxes on a project list. It is sacred, protected time to make those trust deposits. It's time to build the relationship that makes all the other work even possible.
Now, we have to talk about the flip side. What happens when you neglect these relationships? When you stop making deposits, you start to accumulate something incredibly dangerous: relationship debt. And trust me, it is a silent killer of team performance.
So what is relationship debt? Think of it like a tax you pay for taking shortcuts. Every time you pull rank instead of taking the time to explain your reasoning, or you skip that one-on-one because you're just too busy, you're going deeper into debt. And just like financial debt, it quietly builds up in the background, slowing everything down and breeding resentment. And how do you know if you're in debt? Well, look for the warning signs. Are people afraid to tell you what they really think? Are your meetings dead silent, where everyone just nods along? That's not agreement, my friend. That's fear. When people stop bringing their own ideas and just wait to be told exactly what to do, you've got a serious debt problem on your hands. But here's the good news. This is totally fixable. You don't need some massive, complicated turnaround plan. You just have to start paying down the debt, one small piece at a time. And it all starts with one honest, authentic conversation, and then another, and another. All right, so we've looked at the problem and the solution. Now let's bring it all home and make this real. We're going to wrap up by looking at how you can start building real influence through authenticity, starting like today. Here is your challenge for this week. It's called the Relationship Radar. It's simple. First, just list your top 5 most important relationships at work. Think team members, peers, your own boss. Step 2, rate each of those relationships on a scale of 1 to 5 across 3 things: trust, respect, and communication. And then step 3, for any score that's under a 4, just identify one small, concrete action you can take this week to start rebuilding that connection. That's it. Because at the end of the day, this whole thing, it's not about being powerful. It's about being authentic. It's about being a real human being. The leaders that people truly choose to follow, the ones they'll go to the wall for, they don't trade on authority. They trade on authenticity. And let's end with this, because this is really what it's all about. Without trust, you're just guessing. You're leading in the dark. But when you've earned that trust, people will give you the single greatest gift a leader can ever receive: the truth. And it's only when you have the truth that you can actually lead.